Hi, on the show today, Susan really does talk about self-compassion. Our symbol is white and pink, the colours. And as always, we interpret the dreams and answer the questions you sent in during the week. Hi, I'm Michael Sheridan. Welcome to So You Think You're Awake. With me in studio is Heidi Brooke, our resident medium.
Hello.
And Susan Pullen, our healer and life coach.
Hello.
I like the way I say our healer and life coach. Thanks to everyone who sent dreams to RadioShow at dream-analysis.com. Please continue to send them in as they are the lifeblood of the show. You can always jump the queue and call us on 425-373-5527 and we will analyse your dream, connect with your guides through Heidi, or answer questions about healing and changing old patterns in your life with Susan. Now, very important news. If you go to dreamtrackersguide.com, that's dreamtrackersguide.com, you can get a free training course that I've put together on how to interpret your dreams. And everybody is raving about it.
Cool.
Everybody.
Free, so it's probably not going to be free for very long, I'm
Well,
thinking?
I don't know how long it's going to be there, but it was a real push to try get it, get the page up there today. So don't touch your phone near anything if you do look it up, because the ink is still wet. And in fact, it was at 11:10 when we got the page working. So don't expect bells and whistles, but the videos are good. But it'll be improved enormously by tomorrow. But today was the day I had in mind for getting it out there on the air, May 5th. So didn't even realise it was a Thursday and matched in with the show.
And so this is your new form for how to interpret your dreams, teaching people how to interpret their dreams.
Yeah. So it's an excerpt from a lot of videos, and so I've whittled it down so that it's not too boring. And
it's not boring at all, by the way. I've watched it and I listen to him every day comment on these things, and I was very interested. So,
Susan, you have a course coming up you wanted to mention. And the reason you need to mention it is because, just like me, you don't have an advert for it.
It's true. So I have 2 courses coming up. I have a weekend course on living your life purpose, discovering your life purpose, and that's May 14th and 15th in Edmonds. And I also have a Wednesday morning women's group. It's a spiritual development group, developing your spiritual gifts. It's called Tending to Your Spirit, and it's also in Edmonds. It starts May 11th, and both of those are on my website, true-radiance.com.
Excellent. Did you write anything new during the week?
Yes, I actually have written a lot, but I haven't posted them yet.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
See, even trying to catch you out, it didn't work. All right, so you were going to talk about self-compassion. Let's start off with that. And we didn't do the symbols last week, which were white and pink, because they match with this theme. So do you want to start us off, or did you want to cover, well, you run it. Did you want to do a dream or read the piece?
Let's see. Yeah, okay. I'll do my piece first, and then we'll do this dream that goes with it.
And
okay.
It's interesting to note that Heidi wrote something separately, independently of everything. And it's about this too.
Yeah. So our theme today, self-compassion and self-acceptance. So I don't know if you remember the last time you were disappointed with yourself about something.
What time is it now?
Yeah. So for me, there was a session I did with a client, and it was probably like 2 months ago. And it was her first time coming to see me, and she told me what was going on with her. And I have so many strategies for dealing with things, and I'm afraid I kind of bombarded her with like a variety, too many things, too many ways.
Let me load the shotgun.
Yeah, I did, and then I think I overwhelmed her, and so I thought about that session for like 6 weeks afterwards. And I finally caught on that I was just giving myself a bad time for, I should have done this, I should have done that, I shouldn't have done this,
Mm-hmm.
And so once I figured that out, then I was able to like be more resourceful and actually choose something different, which was for me thinking back to myself, I do some amazing stuff and I'm not perfect. So I like this phrase, I do some amazing stuff and I'm not perfect, because like it acknowledges that some of the time I do good stuff.
I like that phrase, but I mightn't have the time to say the whole lot of it.
You get stuck after amazing.
Yeah.
You're like, I am amazing.
I'm amazing.
You're right.
But I'm not amazing all the time. And that's okay too. And so anyway, it's just a quick, I like it. And actually it only took like a day of coming back to myself with that for me to actually let this go and be like, okay, most of the time I do great stuff. And, I'm sorry, person who came to see me 2 months ago, but, it's okay.
Yeah.
So, having compassion for ourselves can be really helpful when we're giving ourselves a bad time about something. And it helps us support ourselves when we're experiencing what I'll call uncomfortable emotions, or like when we wish we had handled something differently, or when we're just plain having a hard time. And it turns out that self-compassion is also really useful when we're procrastinating, or when we're doing something that involves fear for us, or in those moments that we find ourselves doing something that's really counterproductive to our goals, like eating a donut when we meant when we're meant to be, getting fit or something like that. We all have those moments.
Well, I had one this morning. Heidi came in with a donut, which was nice and it was good. And she had 2 Pepsis. One was the vanilla Pepsi and one was a regular Pepsi. And I love the vanilla Pepsis, but I figured out a while ago, every time I drink them, they make me tired. And I thought, I wonder, will it affect my connection? And I go, but it tastes so yummy. So I drank some of it. And sure enough, I could just feel my connection disappearing.
Uh-huh.
But I knew it in advance. So, idiot. Wait, amazing. I am amazing.
Some of the time. But that's right. I mean, we all have those times when it's like, oops, I knew better and I did this anyway. And sometimes I'm just like that. Oh, well. So also practicing self-compassion, it allows us to accept ourselves, which Heidi's going to talk more about. But at the same time, we can hold a realistic view of ourselves, of our strengths and our weaknesses, and like acknowledge our role in a situation without being overwhelmed by like guilt or regret or shame. So how do we dampen that self-judgment when it comes up and just be kinder to ourselves? I think it starts with feeling our emotions, because we can't have compassion for our feelings if we're not feeling them.
True.
Second is mindfully being with our emotions, which like labeling what we're feeling, putting a name to it. It helps us kind of move into the observer position with our feelings instead of just being completely caught up in it.
But the first point you're saying, feeling your feelings, that's the one where most people trip, because it's like you berate yourself because you feel that way. But you have to express the feeling, so you have to let your body feel it in order for it to pass.
Right. So, and just being with it without like exaggerating it or diminishing it or suppressing it, or
that's the compassion part of it.
Right. Yeah. And so then acknowledging that like we're human and you're not alone in this. Probably in this very moment, there are many other people in the world having a similar struggle over, something similar. So not exactly the same, but gee, you are not alone. And then the last piece is just treating yourself as you would treat a friend. So the way we talk to ourselves oftentimes is not very nice. And so just responding to yourself in the way that you would respond to a friend who's in a similar situation.
All right, so that's a good one.
So, and you can, if you feel like it, you can imagine giving yourself a hug. You can imagine holding yourself in love, even if it's just like 5% more than you were able to do before.
Very clinical number.
Well, it's just like sometimes I think we get the idea that, we have to go into pure bliss with ourselves. And it's like, no, even if you can just crack the door open and allow that you might be an okay person, that can be a big improvement in the moment.
And there's always, like you're talking about your experience with a client, it's going to shape and improve how you deal with other clients going forward. So a lot of the times that's a karmic event because it shapes the work you do after that. So we can beat ourselves up And then when we look at it from a much higher perspective, go, oh gosh, this needed to happen.
Yeah. But when we're busy beating ourselves up, we don't learn. We're not in a position to learn from it. So when we can be compassionate with ourselves and, do these things we've just been talking about, then we're able to learn from it, and then we're able to grow from it. Yeah. Great.
So
I like that last part very much. The treat yourself like you would a dear friend in a similar situation. I'm just thinking about that. It's going through my head. I'm like, oh.
I'd buy them a chocolate milkshake.
Like,
so
get
that's
over
what
it.
I'll go
Press
to.
it down. I'm joking.
So this is something when we're really critical with ourselves, we have a strong inner critic or a lot of self-judgment, that shows up in our dreams.
Yes, it does indeed. And you were working with a client, a different one, presumably, and again, we got permission to use this dream. And she says, I dreamt that I was looking into a full-length mirror completely naked. Now, normally I say mirrors are about reproductive system because they reproduce an image of you. But here, it's actually about the dreamer's self-acceptance. So that being naked in a dream is about being your true self, not dressing things up in any way, not bringing a particular attitude or role to whatever the subject matter of the dream is. So it's always good in a dream, even though in the dreams it quite often doesn't feel that way. Anyway, I was being fairly critical because the image looked much older than I felt. And of course, this is saying what her traits are. She's critical of herself. And someone else in the room shrugged and said, it is what it is. And then I was trying on really beautiful, I'm not sure what to call them, robes. They had 3/4 length sleeves and an open front. So the open front again is about being open and showing people who you are. And think about it. If you were naked in public or suddenly discovered you were partially naked in public, you want to cover yourself up. So in a dream, that's what it's about, is covering up your true you and hiding your true you. They had 3/4 length sleeves. So the 3/4 length sleeves are also about not having anything up your sleeve, a short sleeve shirt is that as well, as long as somebody doesn't call it a t-shirt. And open front, like a cardigan with no zippers. And again, the no zippers is good. Or buttons. No buttons is really good, because we push buttons. Or any other kind of closures and much more open. So huge emphasis on the open. They were made of really light, airy silk cotton, voile, V-O-I-L-E, how do you pronounce that?
Yeah, voile.
So they practically floated behind me when I moved. So real elegance to this. I mean, even the image she is describing seems really nice. There were 2 of them, and I remember the colours and pattern reminded me of the way watercolour paints look when you paint on wet paper. Really free form and pretty blues, purples, and really pale pink. And that's why we picked pink as our colour. Pink is about compassion. It's the colour for compassion. And in a dream, it actually means that you didn't bond well with your mother, so you didn't get unconditional love or compassion from your mother. Mom put a price on her love, or maybe didn't give love at all. And this is not about blaming mom in any way. It's just an acknowledgement that that's the way it was for you, and that you need to do something in order to heal that. And that's what pink is going to be about in a dream. And white since we're talking about the colours, white indicates being critical or perfectionist or judging yourself in some way. White can also be positive with other colours, but anyway. The blues and purples are good. Blue and purples. Blue says whatever colour you see with blue, it says add this to your philosophy of life. So the purple says that the dreamer is a spiritual leader, and the pink says you need to add love to your philosophy of life, like love yourself. So the dream is really saying love yourself. And that fits in. So the colours alone fit in with the stop being critical about yourself as you look at yourself naked in the mirror. Accept yourself as you are. You're the perfect you, and you're beautiful. And we all do that. We all, not we all, I shouldn't say we all do it, but we have a tendency to more easily beat ourselves up than to accept ourselves as we are. So the rest of the dream, let's see, is there anything worth looking at there? I was looking at a rack of dress shirts. I didn't know if they were men's or women's. It goes on about Angie's list. So it's an angel's list. So it's telling her that this is a list from your guides. This is what they want you to do in order of priority. Be open and share yourself, accept yourself as you are, and try that on. That's what really putting these clothes on is about. And what's interesting is I had picked this dream to do because she sent it into the show before I knew you'd even seen her, and had written that it was about accepting yourself, and then found out that you had worked with her on accepting yourself. So
that our session was on self-forgiveness and acceptance. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And Okay. We have a few callers, but do we want to do Heidi's piece, then take an ad break, and then we'll take the calls?
Sure.
Because it'll feed in.
Piece now. Yeah. And so this is, I think I've written 2 other pieces before the whole year I've been on the show. But
we better get a printing press, eh?
Yeah. But this is actually, as I've said before, it's a guide that's working with me for the show. So this is actually for the listeners, this guide. And I've tried to discern a name from him. I very much pick up it's a male guide. He hasn't told me yet. So if anybody has a question for and can send it into the show and ask his name, maybe then he'll tell me. But anyway, so far I haven't gotten a name. But just keep in mind that this is from a very intellectual guide, and it's for the listeners. So he talks kind of through me, or types through me rather. So I'll just read what he said about self-acceptance. When people talk about loving yourself, it is often misinterpreted. Loving yourself is not just an utterance of the word itself and said silently in your room at night, or repeated 1,000 times in your car while listening to your self-help tape during your daily commute. Unfortunately, if you fall into the aforementioned category, you have been doing it wrong. So take a minute and listen to this technique. Visualize the light, the love flowing down from the divine through your higher self and into your heart. Feel the love as it encompasses your being and allow it to flow through your physical body. Rejoice in the joy this brings you. Smile if you feel the urge, and remember that when you look in the mirror right after this moment, you are seeing the reflection of a great soul come to this earth to love herself. It is a feeling, but also it is a practice to allow light, energy, and love flow from your higher self down into your being. That is how you love yourself. You are allowing energy from the divine into your soul body. With practice comes the feeling, and with this comes the ability to make this part of your innate process.
What I find funny is you wrote that before you knew what we were going to cover on the show.
Yes. I rarely look at the dreams beforehand unless you have a question about a dream. So that's what I was thinking when you were reading about the mirror in that dream. I was like, oh. Yeah,
it totally fits in with that. So it's good. Okay, well, we're going to take a break and then we will come to Sherry on the phone line. Hi, I'm Michael Sheridan and I'm here to tell you about my new book. In 1990, I had a spontaneous awakening and the veil between the physical world and the spirit world was lifted for me. I didn't believe in the spirit world, but that no longer mattered. I was looking at it. My new sight didn't give me answers, but it opened my mind enough to begin asking questions. It would ultimately lead me to discover that the spirit world is always involved in everything we do. My book reveals what I learned about the spirit world as I stumbled through my journey, and is titled My Journey to Awakening, and is now available on Amazon for Kindle and in paperback. My Journey to Awakening by Michael Sheridan.
How clear is your vision for your life? Are you living on purpose, bringing your dreams to reality? I can help you to hear the quiet voice of your heart, guiding you in the right direction. I'm Susan Pullen with True Radiance Healing Arts. Let's talk about how you can create the life you want and be the person you were born to be. Contact me today at true-radiance.com.
Hello, this is Heidi. How can I help you?
You tell me. You're the psychic.
That's not how it works. I am a medium. I connect to your spirit guides and loved ones and pass on their messages to you.
So why did I call? Use the force, Heidi.
Look, I can get answers to any questions you ask. That's not a problem. They can be about anything: relationships, career, children, finances, anything.
Anything? Okay. What's my favorite color?
Dave, your mom says you're being childish.
For readings with Heidi, go to angelsontheline.com.
Conscious living for conscious people. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to So You Think You're Awake with Michael Sheridan, Heidi Brooke and Susan Pullen. Our show is about dreams, guidance and healing, and our phone number is 425-373-5527. And we say hello to Sherry on the line. Sorry for keeping you for so long, Sherry. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you guys?
Excellent. So, Sherry, you haven't sent a dream into the show for a while. What's up with that?
I know. Did you miss me?
I did. Beginning to worry. You're going to have to send out the posse.
Yeah. Well, I have one for you today.
Okay.
So this dream, I was at a vacation resort, and it was really beautiful. And as soon as I arrived at the resort, I knew that I could fly. So I flew everywhere, and I flew out over the beach to this body of water, and then I went swimming. And then after, I saw these beautiful mythical creatures coming down from the sky, and they were so friendly, and we played for a bit. And then I went back into the house, and there was this translucent being that looked like an angel. She was gorgeous.
Where did the house come from?
The house? I don't know. Did you ask where it came from?
Yeah, because you didn't mention it before this.
No, and I don't know where it came from. It just, I went into a house.
Okay.
Yeah, and I closed the glass sliding door before she could come in. And she kind of cocked her head to one side, like, really? And so I thought, well, she's not dangerous. So I opened the door again and I let her in.
Excellent.
And then my dream took a really weird twist. I went downstairs, and downstairs was a warehouse, and there was this guy with me, and we stopped just outside the doors of the warehouse, and we saw two other men approach the warehouse doors. They got down on one knee, and they drew guns at whatever was inside the warehouse. And then I just yelled, "They've got guns," and ran away, and they chased me, but I got away. And that was just a really weird ending to such a beautiful dream.
Okay. Well, the start of the dream is kind of like the end of the dream. So you discover you can fly. How did you start it off? What was the very, very start?
I was at a vacation resort,
Okay,
and
so,
as soon as I arrived, I knew I could fly.
Yeah, so flying in dreams, particularly in a dream like this, is about mentally rising above your problems. So the dream is immediately addressing stresses and problems in your life. So it's saying that you're going through a period of stress.
Right.
And the vacation is also to relax you because of the stresses that you're experiencing. So the end of the dream just identifies those. So it's not like the dream twisted on you.
Okay.
But you go to a beach and you fly over the water. So the beach is about your approach to life or spirituality, but it's going to be both because life is a spiritual journey. So it's about you embracing that life is a spiritual journey, and but it's giving you a reprieve. So the intention of the dream is to keep your spiritual focus, because you do have a spiritual focus, and realize that these things are in your life for a reason. You're going to do something with them, but you're getting a small reprieve is all, just to recharge your batteries. And then you enter a house. Is that what happens next in the dream?
You go
swimming.
The mythical creatures came down from... I went swimming, and then the mythical creatures came down and played with me.
Okay, so the swimming is about immersing yourself in the spiritual field, which you started to do, about 2 or 3 years ago or so?
Yeah.
And then the mythical creature is like you getting in touch with that. So mythical creatures, and Susan could probably jump in here, they're like archetypes. They're like life has, the greatest stories that persist through the ages are the ones that are about death and rebirth, and there's always mythical creatures in there because it's us embracing our unknown side, our subconscious. I hate the word subconscious, but embracing parts of us that we lost touch with. So that's what the mythical creatures are going to be about for you. So it's showing about how grand your journey is. Entering the building then, which is what's next, or entering the house, is about you coming into your body. So it's about what your life is about here. And then you say there's a creature that you didn't want to let in, that you closed the sliding glass doors. She's a woman.
Yeah, the angel.
Okay, so this is the intuition. The sliding glass doors represent your strong intuition, your strong psychic connection. A psychic connection is a strong connection with your higher self, and and works through feeling. So people misuse the word, so I'm just saying what it means in a dream. But you close that off temporarily, but you realize, okay, I shouldn't do that. I'll allow it in, and that's good. And it's good that she looks at you and says, really, because that is not something you want to do in your life. So it means that you hit a point where you're like, okay, do I want to shut this down or not? But you decided not to. But then you go downstairs, which is down into the subconscious, and the warehouse is there. The warehouse is a really good description for this. So we carry more around in our subconscious, way, way more than we carry around in our conscious mind. So all your past life influences and everything like that, they're all in that warehouse. So you've no idea from a conscious perspective what's going to come up and when it's going to come up. Now, it is very well planned. It is planned in our lives, what's going to come up in each lifetime. But anyway, you're going down there. There's two men with you, but they're helping you, presumably. You don't say that they're against you, and they draw guns because of what's in the warehouse. So men and dreams can be about security. So it's saying that you, and so it was you closing the door, trying to protect yourself. So it's saying that you have yourself on guard because you're afraid of what's going to come up or what you're going to have to deal with. Or it could even just be, I don't want to have to deal with this. I want to keep it buried. So that's what your dream is about. So it's saying, okay, you do need to relax about stuff that is going on, but dealing with these things is part of what you're here to do in your life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And is there anything else? Anything else on that? Nobody wants to say anything. Okay. Well, thank you for the call, Sherry.
Okay, thank you. Have a great weekend, guys.
You too.
Thanks,
Bye.
Thanks, Sherry. Bye.
Okay, now we have Jean in Kirkland. Jean, how are you? Thanks for waiting.
Hey, great, thanks. I always love your show. I had a short dream, and I think it means that I always make things harder than they need to be, but I'd love some guidance on it. My dream was that I was trying to pull these concrete slabs apart in a sidewalk. You know those lines in the sidewalk that are intentional when they pour the concrete?
Yep.
And then one of the individuals that I actually work with who's disabled, he was standing on the sidewalk with a guide-type supporter person. And when I moved this lever that I somehow came to realize was there, before he was standing on it, I moved this lever that I found, and it opened up the little crack in the sidewalk. And then when they were standing on it and I moved the lever, then it really opened up. It gave a great big space very easily. So it was easier when they were standing on it.
Okay, that is a short dream. So it's a concrete slab. It fits in with physical health dreams, but there can be more. Dreams can have several sides to it. So how is your physical health when it comes to elimination, say?
Well, as far as I know, it's fine, but I've noticed my health has changed in the last year overall. Like, I'm not sleeping as well as I used to. I know something's up, but I didn't think it was digestion, but it might be my eating, which I eat very healthy, but I also eat very not healthy too. I mix it up.
Yeah. Well, when you mix them up, it's not healthy. So
Right. You're right. I'm just saying I eat healthy things. I'm not saying I'm a healthy eater.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let's describe the channel that you're trying to open up in the sidewalk. And I'm deliberately using that word. So I was thinking that it's like paving slabs where you see these little lines around the paving slabs and they're all these large square tiles. But I'm guessing now from your description that it's not that it's a straight channel all the way down the sidewalk.
Yeah, it's an intentional line in the sidewalk that's there when you pour the concrete, and sometimes, and it was like it was black. It was like a separate, kind of like an old-fashioned sidewalk that I haven't seen since I was a kid. So I don't, that probably adds something. I don't know.
It does. It adds age to it. So it's saying, okay, the issues that you got now come from a time in the past. Now you said that there was two other characters on the sidewalk. Can you describe them again?
Yeah, one of them is actually an autistic individual that I work with, and the other one seemed like a guide or a supporter person that was, supporting them. They just stood, like when they got on the sidewalk and stood on it, then the lever, it opened way up. So it was
Okay, and the lever opening it up is good. And how would you describe this autistic person? Like, what would be his or her his positive traits?
Positive traits.
Or negative, whatever comes to mind. Like,
I'll say he's very charming, and I'll say that he gives challenges to people for attention.
Are you a teacher? Is he your student?
In a way. I actually advocate for folks with disabilities, and I get them jobs in the mainstream, and then I coach them to be successful in their job. And so the similarity between the two of us is he doesn't want to work. And I think, I don't want to work either. And so I think when I see him, I think of that. Like I think of one day he called in sick on his way in the bus to work, And then he got off the bus, and the work could actually see him walk to the donut shop. And then they have to call me, and then I have to get him back into work. But I'm kind of thinking, why don't I just meet him at the donut shop, and we'll spend the day together? I mean,
I love that.
He's probably got it right?
But he does go to a donut shop. Why do donuts keep coming up today?
I'm not even a big fan of donuts. Of all the things I don't eat that are healthy, donuts are not my favorite. But anyway.
Okay, but if donuts come to mind with him and him not wanting to work, and you say you share that trait, then it's okay. What are you doing to improve your health? Like if you're saying, okay, you're having problems for the last year or year and a half, what have you done? Right, you're saying you eat healthily, but you also eat junk food. So it would be kind of like, what can you do to improve it? Easily enough, I can stop eating the junk food or at least cut it down. But there are other things you can do. When you see a focus on cement like this, it can be saying that there's food in your elimination system that's there for quite some time. And that's what needs to be cleared out. But in the dream, you are actually clearing it out because you're using a lever. But the lever says use some tool because it is a tool. So don't just try this on your own and think yourself better. You got to do something that it's going to give you leverage on getting a handle on the problem and dealing with this problem. It's not a big problem. So this isn't like, go to the doctor or anything like that type of a problem that we often see in dreams on the show. This is just something you want to address and therefore has become the focus in the dream.
And just to add to that, I'm hearing as well, is it you eat the junk food when you're at work, is it?
Right, it's for stress.
Yeah. So,
I'm a stress eater.
Because I keep seeing pictures of packed lunches and things, and I know that they're saying that's something you've been thinking about for a long time, but you never really get down to it.
Okay.
To bring it in.
Make sure if I have the healthy things with me all the time, I'm not going to have as much problem.
Yeah.
Great.
It's easily solved, this. Because in the dream, it shows you doing it yourself.
So just watch what you eat, bring a packed lunch, and, just because you're stressed doesn't give you permission to eat the junk food.
Right. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call. Okay, so let's have a look at somebody else's. I have so many dreams here, and I can never decide which ones to pick. Okay, this one is from Alejandra, and he says, I had a dream that my ex-girlfriend was pregnant with my child, and in the dream, she looked pregnant. But in the same dream, her niece tells me that she is faking the pregnancy to retain me. Can anyone interpret this? Okay, well, this is about pregnancies and dreams. Okay, so men can't have a baby. I always say being pregnant in a dream is about bringing a new aspect of yourself into being, and is always really, really positive. In men's dreams, it's going to be the ex or it's going to be the partner is pregnant, and it means the same thing then for you, for the man. But here, when you're looking at it as fake or questioning it, let's leave it at questioning it. It's saying that you're questioning whether doing the work that you already know you need to do, because you can see the pregnancy, you're questioning whether that's worthwhile. So it's like, I have a spiritual goal, but I've already decided I don't need to do any work to get there. I can just be there because it's all about me just thinking that I'm there. And so this dream is saying, don't fake it. Spirituality is not something you fake. You've got to put in the work, and then that brings the new aspects of you into being.
Yeah. Like you can manifest a lot of things, but you can't manifest the growth part of the spiritual growth. You have to actually go through that process. So
yeah.
But it's enjoyable too. Don't be afraid of it, and don't not do it because it's difficult work. It will be enjoyable.
Yeah.
All right. Here's another one. This lady says, I am in a hotel lobby. I am sitting with 3 other people, even though I do not know what we were talking about. This conversation was basically relaxing and a general type conversation. We were sitting on 2 cream-coloured love seats facing each other. I begin to see a horror view in spirit from seeing the scene, still not hearing the conversation. I see the numbers 44. As I continue to rise to a higher view, I hear a voice say to me, "This will heal you." And I am shown 88. And I gently wake up. And she says, the background, I've been doing a lot of emotional release work with the assistance of an emotional code practitioner and cutting the ties with my mother. And I have also recently attended a healing circle where they did energy work and intuitive reading on me, which did not give me much relief. Should I see a psychotherapist or someone more professional to help me deal with this type of healing to remove the disease in my body? And this lady has just had an operation to remove cancer of the uterus. And she wrote to us before and saying, I want to cut the ties with my mom. Should I do that? And that was only a few weeks ago. And Heidi, you got no, that she shouldn't, because she needs all the energy she has to help with the healing. And the reason for that is that working on issues around your mom is going to affect your gender, because you're a woman. Same way working on issues, a guy working on issues with his dad is going to affect him. So really the dream is saying, not the dream, your guides are saying, just focus on the work that you're doing now, which is enough work. That's the chemotherapy that you're in, and don't add other things. And it's understandable that you want to take a shotgun approach to dealing with such a physical condition, but your guides are saying stick with the medical treatments. Mm-hmm. That's what you need to do. And there will be a time when it's appropriate to cut the ties with your mom. But it would just, how were you saying it earlier? It'll take from your energy, Heidi.
Her guides were saying they're working around the clock to heal her, and it would take from, they would have to, mix it up a little, and because then some of the energy goes to the other work that she's doing. And it's not, like you said, it's not to not do that work. It's just there's a process that comes after.
Yeah.
After the healing. Like you always say, Michael, you have to have a physical body, a healthy body to do your spiritual growth, to do your life purpose. And that's what we're working on right now, is for you to have the healthy body.
And going back to the dream, because we didn't cover the dream, the two cream-coloured love seats are about acceptance, and the 2 is about channeling, so you're able to channel. So the dream is all about relaxing and acceptance, and that's really where it wants you to be. But you want to go higher, but they're saying, you see the numbers 44, and that's about limiting yourself. So don't focus on that right now. And then the 88, which is the last thing you hear a voice saying, 88, it's all about expansion. It is female. You will work on the issues with your mom, and it will get you places, but just now isn't the right time to do it. So, okay, looking at the time, we're going to take a quick break. Back with you in a moment.
How clear is your vision for your life? Are you living on purpose, bringing your dreams to reality? I can help you to hear the quiet voice of your heart, guiding you in the right direction. I'm Susan Pullen with True Radiance Healing Arts. Let's talk about how you can create the life you want and be the person you were born to be. Contact me today at true-radiance.com.
Hello, this is Heidi. How can I help you?
You tell me. You're the psychic.
That's not how it works. I am a medium. I connect to your spirit guides and loved ones and pass on their messages to you.
So why did I call? Use the force, Heidi.
Look, I can get answers to any questions you ask. That's not a problem. They can be about anything: relationships, career, children, finances, anything.
Anything? Okay. What's my favorite color?
Dave, your mom says you're being childish.
For readings with Heidi, go to angelsontheline.com. Hi, I'm Michael Sheridan, and I'm here to tell you about my new book. In 1990, I had a spontaneous awakening, and the veil between the physical world and the spirit world was lifted for me. I didn't believe in the spirit world, but that no longer mattered. I was looking at it. My new sight didn't give me answers, but it opened my mind enough to begin asking questions. It would ultimately lead me to discover that the spirit world is always involved in everything we do. My book reveals what I learned about the spirit world as I stumbled through my journey, and is titled My Journey to Awakening, and is now available on Amazon for Kindle and in paperback. My Journey to Awakening by Michael Sheridan.
Get a grip on life with Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to So You Think You're Awake with Michael Sheridan, Heidi Brooke and Susan Pullen. Our show is about dreams, guidance and healing, and our phone number is 425-373-5527. If you have a dream-related question, you want to connect with your guides for advice, or you can call with questions for Susan about healing and changing old life patterns. Once again, the number is 425-373-5527. And just to remind you again, go to dreamtrackersguide.com and you can see the first video in a set of free training videos all about dream interpretation, where I go into the details of how you extract the interpretation from a dream. Okay, let's have a look at some more dreams. And we've got a whole raft of them. That's a technical term. So this person says, I dreamt I was helping two ladies to deliver their babies. They were both boys. One came out without any problem and the other one came out dead. And after taking him in my hands, I ran my hand on his forehead and begged God to restore his life, and he opened his eyes. The two cute boys, I have never helped anyone give birth. Okay, so I thought that was more of the dream. It isn't. Anyway, the dream says you're a channel, and in the dream you're healing issues at birth that affect your male side. And in particular, you're a telepathic channel. And that's something we were talking about independently earlier, Heidi. She's looking at me puzzled.
Oh, yeah, I remember now.
Oh, good. So what were you saying about it?
Me?
I'm just kidding.
Telepathic. So telepathic and mind reading, it kind of uses, I say mind reading very loosely, it kind of uses the same technique. So in spirit, we're all telepathic. That's how we communicate. That's how I communicate with my guides. That's how I communicate with your guides if I'm doing a reading. And so it's a form, I don't know, do you have a better way of explaining it?
You see it in dreams, the forehead is always mentioned. So like here in this dream, she says, I ran my hand on his forehead. And we have another person who sends in dreams all the time. And in an awful lot of her dreams, she presses her forehead to an animal's forehead and so on. And we've seen it from other people who've sent in dreams. So that all indicates that they get thoughts impressed on their minds from their guides. Whereas another way of channeling is to get feelings about things, or to get images, or to
hear.
Yeah, which is what everybody wants. In the beginning, they want that one, but it's not the true form of communication.
Yeah, whereas telepathy is. I mean, physically in the physical body it is, but in spirit we use telepathic communication. Just to point out in that dream, I remember that is one of the ones I looked at before, and it is talking about her third eye also.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
To turn on her third eye.
It definitely works through that chakra.
Yeah.
Because it's always referred to in that. Okay. So another one. I'm standing next to a model of a working earthquake. This is from Teresa. There is a tall gentleman standing behind me on my left. He is my teacher or guide. Not sure which. He's your guide. Same thing. He is calmly telling me that he has shown me how to teach others about earthquakes. Now, earthquakes and dreams are going to be about traumas and events in their lives. It's not necessarily anything physical in the dream. Of course it is, but in reality it doesn't have to be physical, but it's something that you will look back. You'll be able to spot when you look back and say, oh yeah, that was around that time, as opposed to necessarily spotting it when you're in the moment. But sometimes we do. Anyway, you're here to help people work through those difficult times in their lives. They'd already been a 6.5 modelled and a 7.5 was being modelled as he talked to me. He then told me an 8.5 was already set in the queue. This was all being done in a very calm, unemotional tone. I then realised that beyond the model and the 8.5 in the queue was a large manila envelope that seemed to be just hanging in the air. It scared me as I thought, it's a 9.5. That pulled me right out of the dream and I instantly woke up. So did you want to say something on this one, Heidi? Because you got pieces on this. But I must say the Richter scale doesn't mean anything to me, so I don't even know what a 9.5 is. I think
really big.
Yeah.
Okay, so the higher the worse.
Ireland's, I know it's a logarithmic scale, but Ireland's never had earthquakes, so they're all bad, aren't they? No, I know they're not.
9.5 is like land masses falling into the water big.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. But what's interesting is the dreamer's more afraid of this large manila envelope that's coming. So the dream is saying things happen in life to rattle you and to they're queued up, they're karmic events, they're queued up, they're going to happen, and one of them is going to make you realize what your life purpose is, which is what this large manila envelope hanging there in the air is. So when it's hanging in the air, we know it's above eye level. It's at least at eye level or above. Otherwise, there's no point having it hanging there. You may as well put it on the floor. So it's saying this is something that you need to look up to. You need to accept that these are your papers. You know, this is your mission should you choose to accept it. Guess what? You chose that before you came here. So this is it's kind of funny because the thing itself may not be huge. You may be rattled at the idea of being a spiritual teacher or helping people who have suffered traumas, but that's what you came here to do. So once you start doing it, you're going to find your feet very quickly. I mean, I don't know exactly what this person came to do, but because she does say teacher in the dream, she most likely is going to be a spiritual teacher for other people. The numbers, they're all positive, like 6 and 7, apart from the 5. The 5 is karmic path. So it's all saying it's your karma. It's all on your path. And they're all queued up. So that's also karma. But the 6 is about going beyond karma. 7 is a spiritual path. 8 is expanding through female energy. And 9 is a kick in the butt that says, this is what you need to do because it's your last necessary earth life. And if you do this, you never need to come back. Not that you won't come back, but it's a real, it's kind of like a slap on the wrist in a dream saying, get on with living your life purpose. And that's what you need to do. That's what we all need to do. And it's great to see a lot of people who listen to the show actually have started doing what their dreams say and what their purpose is. And an awful lot of people already know what they are. They've been told, especially if they're our age, they know from, Heidi's looking funny at me.
No, I'm just
okay,
thinking.
If you're older like me, you've been told before. So it's like, oh yeah, I keep being told I'm a channel. When are they ever going to give up? Well, they'll give up when you die.
Because I've had those conversations with people. That's why I was looking at you like that.
I was joking because you're much younger than the rest of us. Anyway, so that's it. It seems like a bad dream, but it's not. And it's about making sure that you don't get comfortable where you are. These earthquakes really symbolize that things are going to happen that are going to make you say, okay, there's merit to actually looking beyond the physical in life.
Things that are going to shake her up.
Yes. And I can't remember the dream exactly, but we had a dream from her a few weeks ago where she had a 6-foot-tall eagle.
Oh, yes.
So intuition is her way. Anyway, let's have a look at another one. There's a battlefield. The sky is red. On the battlefield is a woman with red hair and black, in a black suit of armor, riding a black horse. So colors are always great. Red and black is always about anger. And then the battlefield, well, guess what that's about anyway. She's fighting against a woman in a silver suit of armor riding a white horse. So we have anger versus intuition. And here, because the white is with another positive color, silver, it's about enlightenment. It's the color of the crown chakra, when enlightenment and confidence and all the positive things that white can symbolize. They're using swords as they battle. That's going to be anger as well. The woman in the silver armor has a blue scarf tied around her right arm, and the woman in the black armor has a red scarf tied around her right arm. The sun sets, but the sky maintains a red glow as there are fires burning all around. So fires are all about the heart. The women fight for hours without any of them having a clear advantage. So this is about, and Heidi, you can jump in on this one, or anybody who wants, of course, can jump in. But it's about balance, because a single horse, this person's a healer, and she mentions the sun setting. But she is a healer. But a single horse is about balance, and anybody who's ever tried to ride a horse will know that. It's about staying on the thing. And here, so it's going to be about emotional conflict, and going to be connected most likely to issues with your mom. But having an armor on a woman in a dream is not really good. So it's saying that you have this protective mechanism that you use to keep to keep your feelings hidden and so on. But your dreams have really been pushing you lately. This is the same woman who had dreams about snow globes and coming out of snow globes. So it's all about opening up, taking off the armor, stopping the conflict, because it's inevitable that you're going to be the woman on the white horse, using your intuition, a symbol of all positive things about being open about who you are, what you are, and so on and so on. And it's kind of interesting, your dreams, it's almost like you look to complicate things more than they are, because the answer is very, very simple. And sometimes we don't realize how profound the answer is when it's very simple. Follow your heart is really what your dreams have been saying for quite some time. Anybody want to add anything in that? The blue and white, that's nice. So blue, we had it earlier, and I said anytime you see blue, you add the other color to it. So white is about confidence and enlightenment and purity, perfection, all the positive sides of that color.
Hope.
And intuition. Yeah, hope. Very good one. So hope is a huge one. So it's saying you're to add the fact that you're intuitive, a strong psychic connection, add that to your philosophy of life. So that's your philosophy. So if I was to ask you, what are you in life? What do? You would say, I'm a singer. And these dreams say you're not. You're intuitive. That's what you are. You're somebody who follows your heart. But
so what does the scarf on the right arm?
It's like an emblem. You know, I'm going to wear this. Everybody's going to see this about me. So you're either going to see that you're an angry person, which is wearing the red scarf on your arm, or that you're a cultural, spiritual being, which is what this blue is going to be about. Expression. Blue is all about expression. Throat chakra. What else have we got? Same dreamer. I'm walking through a mansion and I hear someone playing a piano. It's Chopin's Raindrop Prelude. There's my ignorance. What's that? I keep following the music until I come to a room which is completely empty except for a piano. There is a man in a tuxedo playing the piano. I stand in the doorway and listen as there are no chairs in the room. He finishes playing the song, which he played beautifully, and I clap for him. He invites me to sit at the piano with him, and we improvise a song together. So he's your guide because he's the pianist, and anybody with a title in your dream is a guide. And so he's saying, get in harmony with your purpose, which includes channeling. And there's no other chairs. So the room there's no other decorations. I like this about this dream. There's nothing else you can do except listen to the music. You can't even sit down to listen to the music. But standing in the doorway isn't great, but you do go into the room, so that's great. The standing in the doorway is like, I'm not sure whether I'm really going to cross the threshold on this and do this and really pursue my channeling with this particular guide. But Raindrop Prelude, I don't know that particular one, but Rain in Dreams is good. It's about letting life in. And then sitting beside him on the piano. And the fact that you say there's no other chair, so there's no other position to take except this. So this is really pushing on the importance of developing your channeled connection, because you're going to do something else with that channeled connection, with that connection, once you've already got it and got it very strongly.
This is the prelude to it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, very good. Excellent. So, so it's kind of funny, you know, you could be saying to yourself, I don't want to be a channel, but you need to channel and really get that connection going because of what you're going to do when you've got the connection going. Am I explaining that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's have a look. What else have I got? I liked this one. I like them all, I suppose. I am not a robot. So the first part, it's all about the age of robots has arrived, and I'm designated to be in a group. So you're in a group that's to work side by side with the robots. We see robots being made, and I'm going to skip a piece. They're very human-like, and they're all dressed in pants with light blue and turtleneck tops. Then I'm given my working attire, and it too is like a blue turtleneck, and I could easily get confused with the robots. I believe that this was deliberately done to provoke me, as my other human co-workers are wearing colours that distinguish them from the robot. So a robot is going to be about somebody who's unemotional, unfeeling, and of course there's no such thing. Nobody is unfeeling, but we can suppress that side of our nature and try go through life as if we don't feel things, as if we can't feel pain, and so on and so on. And of course, that says a lot about the start of life, though some trauma caused you to be this way, but it also blocks your connection to your higher self, because that's where that comes through. So I did skip some pieces. Anyway, others are like me, who are dressed like the robots, and we have a script to learn. The powers that be are observing how humans are treated that look like robots. I'm going to be in an uncomfortable position. So we look at the way she describes. She's in an uncomfortable position. People won't respect my feelings. I'm skipping again because I'm looking at the time. They won't talk to me, so won't talk, won't share, won't express. They push work on me, and they have targeted me in this way. Okay, so that tells us one thing, but I really want to get to the next dream. But let's see. The experiment has not started yet, but it's only a matter of time until the humans dressed like robots feel the brunt of the dehumanizing experiment. I've words to memorize, but I'm in the dark, and so I can't even read what I'm supposed to know what to do. So the dream, so you want to know what it is you're meant to be doing with your life, and you're saying, but yet I'm not really being shown clearly. Well, the dream is saying, get in touch with your feelings, more in touch than you are now. That's the way you're going to get it. And then moving on real fast to this one, and I'd love to hear your take on this one, Heidi. Huge antenna, it's called. Same dreamer. I'm going into the city, New York City, and on the way I see a huge antenna tower that is going up. The base of the tower is the size of a skyscraper, so we know it's spiritual. The antenna will be seen for miles around and will be as tall as the Empire State Building. Many buildings in this area had to be destroyed in order for this antenna tower to go up. I get the feeling, I love this feeling, that the tower is in Edison, New Jersey, with my, time to pick up your son, Heidi. Edison, New Jersey, my hometown, but it has the feeling of New York City. Right now, the antenna is being worked on, and the surrounding old multi-story dark brick high-rise apartments are out the life, and office buildings have been condemned, and the demolition has started as the interiors of the upper level are exposed. And this is what I really like, the interiors being exposed. So this is saying that I know from talking to this streamer, she's at a point in her life, she's retired. She says, I don't know if I really want to do anything. I'm happy with where I am. And this stream is saying, you've decided you're going to do something. So that's what I really like about this stream. You've started breaking down the old structures that are there that you've built up since your childhood. And the antenna is about your ability to really project and be a beacon and help other people. You're very strong mind, strong intellect, and people listen to you. So if you get anything that you want to say in 20 seconds.
And the apartment is like the robot. It's that.
It's the antidote, but they're all opening up. So that's really good. So
I do want to say that I do readings for people. I never say this on the show. So outside of the show, I do readings. You can call 206-465-2024.
Excellent. And we do have a lot of people. So, okay, thanks to Eric, our producer and engineer. Thanks to everybody who sent in dreams. Our quote, "To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance." Oscar Wilde.
Thanks.